I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of March 22, 2022. That was tough. To order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
President Jones.
Present.
Vice President Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Dara.
Present by phone.
Commissioner Haluka.
Present.
Solicitor Jewett.
Present.
And the President.
Here. This meeting, like all others, is being recorded, will be uploaded to YouTube, and will be seen by anyone who wants to see it. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the March 14th workshop meeting?
So moved.
Seconded?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do I hear a motion to adopt the weight limit and road bonding ordinance?
Make a motion to adopt the weight limit and road bonding ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is that the extent of the motion, Gwen?
That is what I have it. I mean, if you want to read the whole heading in.
Does our solicitor believe that's sufficient?
It should be sufficient if you'd like to read that in, just for the benefit of any
Sure.
who are listening.
An ordinance of the Township of Aleppo, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, imposing restrictions as to the weight of vehicles operated upon certain township roads, providing for the issuance of permits and the posting of security for the movement of vehicles of a weight in excess of certain restrictions, and prescribing penalties for violations.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Chief?
Good evening, everyone. For the month of February, we had a total of 62 calls. A few alarms at residences and a business. Resident reported possible criminal mischief, meaning he thought somebody threw a rock at his windshield and cracked it. Not sure if it was or was not that it, but nothing came of it. We weren't able to find anything else in it. A few suspicious persons and suspicious circumstance calls. People are calling what they see, what they think is suspicious. Typically, it works out not to be anything major, which these cases were. People moving into a certain location, they just park their vehicles in some odd places. But it's good that people are calling. I always say that. See something, say something. Medical emergencies were a total of 40. Trees down and road department callouts were 3. A few assisting some traffic-related motorist aids. And traffic citations were 1. Welfare checks were 2. That's just checking in on people, making sure if family member can't reach out to somebody, whatnot, we reach out to them, see if they're okay, and everybody was. For the rest of the February, I don't recall anything else specific. Fortunately, I don't see any fraud calls on here, but I always say it's pretty active. The age-old grandmother scam. I see a lot of emails over the last couple months about that. I don't know why, but it is particularly heavy right now. Somebody posing as a grandson, granddaughter, calls and says, "Grandpa, Grandma, I'm in jail, I need money." And then somebody posing as a lawyer or a police officer gets on and starts asking for a few $1,000s, right? That's never going to happen. And I say this to try to put the word out there as much as possible. Law enforcement or lawyers will not reach out to anyone directly and ask for any kind of money. So hang up, call your family members, make sure they're okay, and then call the police. Okay? Other than that, I have nothing. Does the board have any questions, concerns, issues?
Any questions?
All
So
good?
as
Okay.
per usual, anything we can do?
Nope. Like I said, see something, say something, and people are, so that's good. That's real good.
I like that saying.
It comes in
I
handy,
was gonna
right?
say, he didn't coin that one.
I didn't. I wish I did, but it comes in handy.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, chief. Stay safe.
Fire?
these out earlier, but I don't know how many people are gonna be here.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you need one for
Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while. Hopefully we'll get back to some normalcy now and go along with our business. Before you is the report, a summary of 2021, listed for fire calls. In the packet, the first, I believe, 8 pages is a list of incident numbers, fire calls that the fire company participated in. The pages after that is a breakdown of the nature of the call. This is a new system that we're using. If you remember in the past, it was a different format that we used. This one here, emergency reporting, which every fire company in the state now uses. It's pretty standardized. There's probably pretty close to 1,500 different reports they offer that we can go through and do like a report just for one individual. Training, we keep track, we log in all the training hours, whether it's station training, certified training. It's pretty in-depth, so we're pretty happy with this reporting system. Gives us a lot of options. We were able to break this down. I don't know what happened to the first 5 calls. We were able to break this down into 2 zones. We have the Aleppo district and the Swickley Heights district. So this way it gives you an idea what kind of calls we're going to in each district. In the summary that I just gathered up real quick, and you could see that we responded to 145 calls. 92 calls were logged in the Aleppo district, and 53 were in the Heights. Of the 92 calls in Aleppo, 45 of those were mutual aid, meaning that we go into other people's district for assistance. And it ranges from anywhere from Bellevue, Harmony Township, Beaver County, any help. Those mutual aid calls get logged into Aleppo's call volume. Just a brief thing, currently 32 members on a roster consists of, we do have 26 that we call active. These are the guys that are actually suited for gear. Then we have 5 retired life members. There's only 1 or 2 of them that actually still come around and participate, but they put their time in and they're no longer required to participate in active duty. If anybody has any questions on any of the lists, gladly go over it.
What's a good intent call?
Tree down,
Never heard that phrase.
a tree down.
So being nice.
Let me look here real quick.
I was just curious, I've never heard that before. 600. It's a 600, it's not worth it.
Okay.
I was just curious what that is.
We have 2 officers who. Was that boring? Hung up on me?
Broke it.
See what you did? See what you did?
I know.
Yeah.
Quite a
It
few.
follows you everywhere you go.
The township does have an ordinance. Residential, they get, I believe it's 1 false per year.
Yeah, some people.
And
can't
commercial,
fulfill
I
it.
think it's 2.
Some calling fire, and calling EMS.
We have a lot of younger guys, and they, our call volume has gone down in the years, and everybody wants to run these calls. And I tell them, in 1998, I became fire chief. We ran 24 calls that year. 1999, we had 24 calls. Just Aleppo. We didn't have all the home fire alarm systems. We didn't have the Masonic Village. Half the industrial park didn't have alarms, so a lot of times have changed.
Right.
If there's nothing more on the fire calls, I did on the summary a couple discussion topics I'd like to talk about. First and foremost, it says that we've actually ordered a new pumper truck. About 2 years ago, actually it's been longer than that, but almost 2 years ago, we formulated a plan to replace our '96 Freightliner. So
It's taken some time, quite a few meetings. We demoed 3 different apparatus manufacturers, brought them in, viewed their trucks. We came up with a plan where the truck is being built by Pierce Manufacturing in Appleton, Wisconsin. We didn't pick the most expensive, we didn't pick the least expensive. We went right down the middle. We felt that this truck was best suited for our needs. We weren't happy with the price tag, but something that we had to do. Truck's 26 years old right now. Like I said, our old truck's a 96, and we bought that truck brand new in 96. It was $150,000. The new truck, which was ordered in September, will be here in late October, is $783,000. So, big difference. Like I said, times have changed. So we're really excited. I mean, this is the first full custom apparatus that Aleppo's ever purchased. If any of you know, all the trucks that we bought were new, were what they call a custom a commercial chassis, meaning an over-the-road truck with a fire body. Very cumbersome as far as firefighting, because guys can't gear up, can't get suit up. We can't hold equipment inside the cabs because they're not designed for firefighting. This is the first truck that we've actually were able to spec out from the front bumper to the tailboard. So long process. Very, very happy, very pleased with the guys
I was
of
gonna
putting
say,
this
that's
together.
one excited fire chief right there.
Yeah, so
That's exciting.
we're ecstatic. We're waiting. Can't wait till it gets here.
Good.
Tommy, I can't say enough about Tommy O'Neill. Everybody knows him. He's our financial guy. Of him working all the numbers and putting everything together, the biggest thing was, can we afford this vehicle? And with his magic and creative financing, he got it done. We were able to put a third of the total cost of the truck down in cash, and then able to finance the remainder. Some of the money is 2% through the state. That truck qualifies for a certain amount of 2% money. So it's not hurting the budget at all, and we're pretty excited about it. Next item, next year's our 75th anniversary. Pretty excited about that too. When we do this, or we're hoping, obviously the truck will be there, but this year we're not having an open house. So next year we're going to go back to our open house. So we're hoping to celebrate our 75th at the open house, do a little bit more than what we've done in the past. Hopefully the new truck will be there, that we can showcase that and show the residents, hey, this is your new truck.
Curiosity, how were fires and emergencies handled prior to 75 years ago?
I think they were covered by Swickley.
Okay.
From what I was told, through some of our older gentlemen, there was a few fires in Aleppo Township years and years ago, and there's to be 13 charter members, and they were basically farm owners up here in Aleppo. This was all farmland. They took money out of their own pocket, bought the property. A lot of them were steel workers. They hand built the first trucks that we've had. We have pictures of those hanging up in our building.
Wow.
The first pumper and the first tanker were all hand built at Bethlehem Steel by our members. So that's big shoes for us, for these younger guys to fill, knowing the history of our company. Nobody gave us gave those members anything. So it's nice to walk in there and see those 13 members' names hanging up in the building that we dedicated the building to.
Good.
Well, if you need help with your 75th, I would volunteer some resources and some time.
That would be great. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Next thing, radio, P25 radio compliant. It's another thing that Allegheny County 911 has come down with. Mind you, I've been chief since '98, and they've talked about this back then. Truncating the radio system, meaning that they can take multiple frequencies if there's a mass incident anywhere in the township or anywhere in the county, that they would be able to take 20 different radio frequencies, truncate them into one, and do one announcement. They've been talking about it for years. Well, now they're actually trying to implement it. So, being with the radio, P25 radio digital compliance, we have been purchasing radios. The county came out with a program for this year. The county is giving us 8 new radios from Motorola, and it was up to us whether we wanted a mobile unit, which goes in the truck, or a portable unit, which would go on a firefighter's gear, when they're actively in a fire. We went with the mobile units. We're replacing all the radios in the trucks with 2 extra portables for the tanker truck. Comes out to about $25,000 worth of radio equipment for free. Now, they also issued us another $25,000 grant, every fire company. We are going to use the remainder of the other $25,000 to outfit the ladder truck with new radios. We're still, with all the new radios, we're still $60,000 short. Unfortunately, the radios with the P25 compliant and the intrinsically safe radios that Motorola is producing now, they're $5,000 each. We could buy probably 4 to 5 portables 10 years ago for that cost, but they weren't intrinsically safe. You know, you go into a hostile environment, gas environment, you know, there's always the risk. You keep up the mic, boom. People with the radios, cell phones, none of that stuff's allowed into a building. So we're slowly pecking away at it. We purchased 5 portables for the officers last year through a grant. And then with the counties issuing us some of the radios, we're just going to try to, you know, peck away at this, you know, this compliance, and hopefully outfit all the trucks here in the next, you know, hopefully year and a half, 2 years. So then we'll be compliant with their mandate now. And then probably 2 years it'll be changed, and we'll have to go back at it again. The other thing, late 2020 and early 21, we purchased 16 new SCBAs. That's the self-contained breathing apparatus that the firefighters use going into a structure. We purchased these with it was a joint purchase between us, Swickley, and Aleppo Township. We went with a MSA product, which now, for the first time in over 30 years, all of Quaker Valley and the North Boroughs are on the same air pack. We used to go years ago, this company, they had to be different. They had their own. This company had their own brand name, and we had 5 or 6 different brand names in Quaker Valley. You went to a fire, nothing was compatible with anybody else. So now, first time in 30 years, it took 30 years to get this far, but now we're all compatible. So that was about $105,000 for that, for just the air packs. And last, through NFPA, they come up with they're basically the standard for firefighting, and it's a guideline that we should all follow. They have in their guidelines that no fire gear is allowed to be over 10 years old. A lot of our gear was 15 years plus. So we had to buy all new turnout gear. So we outfitted 26 members from boots, coats, pants, and helmets and gloves. And that was $82,000. That came out of our general. The SCBA, we did a 5-year note with one of our lending institutions that we deal with. We did a 5-year program. We're already into our second payment on that. So hopefully in 3 more years we'll actually own the air packs and hopefully be on the right track.
Well, Bill, this is pretty amazing.
It is.
I don't know about that. But
It is, so congratulations.
For a company that size, that's amazing.
like I said,
Bill, I see in the middle of your first paragraph that you have 32 members on the roster now.
yes.
How's that going in terms of attrition? Is it still
Well,
difficult?
you know, for years, we've been at the 30, 28, 30, 32 mark. 28, it's fluctuating. A couple of members will move away, and we're fortunate. We have 4 junior firefighters that have come up. A lot of fire companies don't have junior programs. We've been very fortunate. We have 4 right now. And those guys, when they turn 18, they'll be allowed to take their live burn through their firefighting program. They'll be interior firefighters. And, you know, we have a couple guys that moved away, and we've been holding it like 30s an average.
Well, you're commended on that because there's an awful lot of volunteer fire departments that are in.
I wish that we had 30 respond. We've had calls where we'd have 3 or 4 guys on a truck. We had the structured fire, I think it was last year in Bellevue. We had 22 people show up. We didn't have enough seats for everybody. We didn't send everybody. We sent 2 pieces of equipment to Bellevue. I mean, that's unheard of. That's unheard of to have that many guys in
Yeah.
small Aleppo Township.
I was gonna say, it's a main township
Yeah.
response.
But it was COVID. Everybody was at home. Nobody was working. They didn't have nothing to do. So
Oh, it's good leadership.
No, I don't know. We try. Try our best.
Proof's in the pudding.
Thank you very much, Bill.
All right, thank you. If anybody has any questions on any of the call incidents, just, you guys know how to get a hold of me.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Emergency management.
Just very quickly, we made the decision to line up with the CDC guidelines, dropping our mask mandate, except for special situations, and we have a couple of those. So, except where there's a special need, we're okay without masks, given what the numbers are right now. So.
Thank you. Any further discussion about that issue? Public Works.
Good evening.
Evening.
Really not a lot to say. Everything, it's been winter time. We've been doing a lot of plowing and salting. On one note, our new tractor is supposed to be at the dealer this week. I'll believe that when I see it, because we did have some issues with one of our trucks. We had to have some major engine repairs done on it. Other than that, not a lot to say.
The new salt spreader is working well.
Very well. We're very pleased with it. We're still getting the hang of it. It takes a little bit of time to figure out the adjustments right, but yeah, it's working real well. We're real happy with it.
Good. Well, I'm sure you've heard, probably every meeting, we get somebody either emailing or calling in, thanking you for how good our roads are. I think sometimes it's apparent. You go from one municipality to the next and there are differences.
Oh, big tip.
And
One of our residents just stopped me the other day and said that last snow we had, she said, I had to go to Wexford. She said, the roads were clear in Aleppo, but I knew exactly when I left Aleppo.
right, well, so we're pretty lucky. Any questions for Tim? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm out of here because the Penguins are playing. So good night, everybody.
I was gonna say, Chief can keep growing until they win the Stanley Cup. Communications?
I got one email today from a resident from Bar Black, and it said, Don and I are checking the website. In the search for tonight's agenda, we located in the action log. Is that where it will reside going forward? I was also looking for a Gantt chart or a spreadsheet type doc describing outstanding projects, progress, milestones, and due dates, etc. Do these have a home on the website? Just wondering, as I haven't been able to locate that info. Thanks, and please feel free to read this during citizen participation this evening. So I replied, and there was the agenda was posted in one place on the website, but not the normal place. So I put it up, so that was fixed. And I let them know that we were going to be meeting with, you and I were going to be meeting to go over the project list, and then I will be converting the current format into more of a easier to read format for the website. So I let her know that that project was not forgotten, that it's coming. So
Good.
she said thank you. So.
Thank you. Any other issues relative to communications? Planning and zoning.
Other than, I'll give the report that the zoning ordinance is very close to being advertised. The planning commission did vote to recommend that it move forward, but we're not quite ready to advertise it yet, so hopefully maybe by the end of the week or the beginning of next week it'll be advertised, which triggers a bunch of clocks, 45-day timelines, and for the county to review and things like that. So that's very, very soon.
I can just clarify very quickly. So it'll be sent to the county, I believe, next week. They need to have at least 45 days for review, and then the advertising will need to go out no more than 30 days. So there'll be just a slight gap in between it being sent to the county and then.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, tax collector treasurer. I suspect, Gwen, you're doing this?
Yes, you have Clayton's report in your packets, and the report through the end of February. Would you like me to read the balances? Or would you like me to point anything specific out? We have not, I mean, the main thing is that everything looks under budget for the start of the year because the real estate taxes have not started coming in yet.
Right.
Those bills just went out. Once that money comes in, we get front-loaded with our funds for the year, and so we get a lot of our money in March and April and a little bit into May. So that's when you'll start to see our budget balances go up and our accounts get replenished.
Well, and you can kind of explain that to yourself by looking at the bar charts. 'Cause
Yes,
we compare month to month from
Yes.
year to year, so.
yes,
There's nothing unusual from 21 to 22.
correct.
And this is always available for anybody that wants to look.
It is also posted in this room, so if anybody wants to wander in, it's on the bulletin board right there as well, and on the website.
All right, Art, we're down to 2 commissioners. Will you read the motions and I will second them?
Okay, we'll do that. Motion to ratify January bill list in the amount of $83,671.97. To ratify January prepaid bills in the amount of $13,849.93. And to ratify January payroll transfers in the amount of $17,354.24.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Dan, you don't have the agenda in front of you,
You should.
or do
I
you?
do.
Would you read the second motion then?
Motion to approve February bill list in the amount of $60,555.38. To ratify February prepaid bills in the amount of $12,665.84. And to ratify February payroll transfers in the amount of $21,573.26.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to transfer the following amounts from the liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salt invoices of $14,586.75, $11,053.74, $7,301.35, and $16,722.98.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I will read these. These are motions to refund the following 2021 real estate taxpayers under Act 172. Charles Davis Sr., $117.31. Charles Davis Jr., $71.76. Justin Davis, $116.21. Louis Hassan, $144.35. Bruno Russo, $116.14. Tim Scott, $106.33. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? I think once again, thanks to all of these people for, in essence, volunteering their time.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to refund the following 2020 real estate taxpayer under Act 172. Josh J. Grimm, $57.01.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Aleppo Township Authority.
One matter to report from the authority. After years of struggling with pump issues at the Deer Run pump station with multiple repairs, rebuilds, replacements, and the failure to have the spec alarm systems functioning, the authority has determined that it's time for an upgrade to the pump system at Deer Run with a cost of about $422,000. The solicitor for the authority is going to be writing to the townships to relay this recommendation from the authority And I expect it's gonna look for the township to pay the cost of that upgrade since the sewer system is owned by the township. So that's what I have from the authority.
Since we have Mr. Davis here, Bill, is there a clear description of what the problem is?
I believe from our engineering, it's the configuration of the pumping system with the tandem pumping.
Yeah.
It's an oddball configuration, not common in the wastewater when you have high pressure. They believe it was a fault from the very beginning of design, and it's been proven by 3 different firms that looked at it. It's a continued maintenance issue. Of all the pumps that we have 6 pumps, 4 at the Deer Run, 2 at the Soapy Heights. The only pumps we're replacing are the high pressure pumps, submersible pumps that are in the dry pit. They're the ones that have to take the pressure from the first pump to create the pressure to push it up the hill. Those are the ones that we're having problems with. And if it was designed differently from what we're told, we wouldn't have that issue.
Yep.
So we've had 3 independent engineering contractors come in and inspect it, plus our own authority engineer?
Well, he's included in the 3.
Okay. Has anybody communicated with the original design engineer to ask the question, you know, it's not working, here's our assessment?
You're talking about the guy we sued?
Yeah.
Yes. But I would think they should still comment. Anyway, that's a question. And then has there been a conversation with the pump manufacturer, and is that still the German firm?
Yes. Currently, the rep for this area who sold the township the pumps, they are no longer dealing with Wheelo pumps because of all the issues. The last pump was out of service for 9 months due to the fact the pump was designed and built in Germany. I don't know, I guess they can't overnight stuff. They have to put it on a ship and it comes over. All the parts they received the first time were wrong. They had to send them back. The problem is there's nobody that stocks these parts for Wheelo pumps in the States. So we thought through our engineer going with a more common pump, something that's more user-friendly, something that's still here in the States, and then parts are readily available. But they say, I don't want to stress parts are readily available, we won't have the problems that we're having right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a known problem, and it's one of those things, it was done, we can't control it. I think just moving forward, trying to come up with a plan to do something as far as changing that pump configuration. I'm not saying tear the whole building down, it's just reconfiguring to the 4 pumps that are in that building.
And is the corrective design, has it been reviewed by all 3 of the engineers? Or
I don't know.
okay.
I know our engineer and the one company, WC Wow, actually designed a pump station for this site before KLH designed. And his design is what we're been looking at, and KLH didn't go with that.
Okay.
So I know those 2 companies that, they're agreeing with our engineer.
Right. Commissioner Dara, the only reason I asked the questions is this isn't, my suspicion is this is not a unique issue and it's not a unique situation. So we'll investigate it further. We'll wait for the letter.
Well, George, if you recall, there was a time when that issue was investigated because we were thinking that the specs were wrong and that was causing the pumps to malfunction. I think from the studies that have been done since then, the conclusion is that the pumps have simply outlived their useful lives.
Right. Okay. We'll wait for the letter. We understand it's a problem that has to be fixed. Do you have any further comment?
The township's getting ended up paying the repair costs that have been incurred or being incurred anyway, so you're gonna spend money one way or another.
Yeah, I think Gwen and I talked about it. The residents and the users are gonna pay for it one way or the other.
Yep.
Yep,
So we should do it the most efficient way and the cheapest way.
agreed.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll have more discussion. Thanks for the input, Bill. Anything else, Commissioner Dara?
So,
Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority,
No report.
Quaker Valley COG.
We've been having some very interesting meetings, basically on the GIS system that they're trying to encourage everyone to buy into that same system, have the proper licenses. There are, at the current time, there are 4 unused licenses for the GIS. So if anyone here, particularly Public Works, wants to utilize one of those licenses, they should do so. They're already paid for, and they're going to atrophy if no one uses them. So that's one issue. We've had a review of the 65 corridor with the consultings, whose name I can't remember, but they're at CMU, the professors. The meeting went very, very well. The plan that confused everyone is trying to get, or figure out how to get the lanes of the vehicles using that road to be more or less the same. And the current plan was that the lane should be 11 feet, and everyone sort of sat up in attention at that. So I think that discussion will go on for quite a while. There were 3 or 4 people that I don't think they would have approved of anything. They just don't want it in my backyard attitude. So what the COG is going to do is to form another committee called 65 Committee, and it will be made up of various people who have volunteered for it or been requested to volunteer. I have put my name on the list. Basically, I have been sort of involved in that since the beginning, and talked it over for a moment or two, right, with the president, and he's sort of nodded his head yes. So I can't tell you explicitly what that 65 corridor committee is going to be doing because we haven't met yet, but the first meeting will occur within about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'm sure that will take form, fit, and function as the time goes on. I strongly concur to this because we are now at the point where they're going to be putting together the master plan. And that sort of will put it in concrete. That's a bad pun. Well, anyway. And I think that having various people from 6 or 7 of the communities being involved and knowledgeable will be helpful.
Good.
Can I add 2 things to the COG?
Sure.
Just a reminder, we talked about it last week, but the glass recycling center is now open down at 300 Chadwick Street in Swickley's Riverfront Park. And our website lists the different the rules for the glass and the map to the location. And also, the Waste Management Recycling Facility tour is coming up. So if anybody on the board is interested, or staff is interested in touring the recycling center down there, let me know and I will RSVP you for that tour.
When is that?
May 4th.
Thank you. Is there a solicitor's report?
There is no solicitor's
But
report.
I'm seeing there is one being created.
Solicitor's report back.
Any unfinished business? The only thing I can think of is that we're continuing to analyze the request for parking ordinances and management of the islands and the manor. So it's, progress is being made. Is there any new business?
I could just say the one thing that we received a notice from PennDOT that the ramp is from the bottom of Deer Run, and then you turn right onto Kilbuck Street, and then you would turn right to get on 65. That ramp is gonna have a long-term closure. So there's gonna be a long detour. You're gonna have to get on 79, loop around and get on that way. So that's coming up very soon. So just
That's more or
another,
less the reverse of what has been in
last year.
last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we have any citizen participation, Dave?
No.
Mr. Citizen, do you have anything further to say?
I asked, Bill, what interest would the fire department have in the GIS systems that are going on?
I don't.
Are you familiar with what it is?
Yes, we have the authority.
Okay,
As far as the fire company, I don't know. We're dispatched through the CAD department through County 911. We have the CAD in one of the vehicles. But it doesn't really have anything really to do with the GI. Like our mapping system comes through the county. It gives us hydrant location, stuff like that as far as, like we had to submit through the authority, we had to submit our coordinates to the county and they put them on our map. So
Yeah.
if we get dispatched into an area, it'll come over the CAT, because the nearest hydrant's 300 feet from the structure or whatever.
okay. Well, I just thought if there was something
Yeah. I can't really think of it.
that's good and free.
Yes. We like the word free.
Well, you can think about it.
Yes. Thank you.
Is there a need for an executive session? Last word, Commissioner Dara, anything to add?
Nothing to add, thank you.
We are adjourned.